Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is March 15th, 2024. It is a Friday morning. It's a nice morning out in Meridian, Idaho. Today's going to be a great day. I've got a job interview with Lime Painting for a sales opportunity. So I'm looking forward to that. Be interesting to see what all the opportunity is. Yesterday I had an awesome job interview for service experts, which would be in-home sales. It's like HVAC remodeling type work, and I would be going out with a service tech. The service tech would check the equipment. I'd be talking with the customer. We'd figure out what all they need, get it done, and I'd move on to the next customer, which sounds perfect to me. That's the type of role I'm looking for, is something in person, something where I'm out driving around, I'm meeting new people, helping them solve a problem that they already have. They're already looking for help and support solving the problem. And it's just up to us to see, hey, can we solve it in the right way? Can we solve it how they want it solved? So that's what I'm looking for in a role. And then that's going to be what I'm doing day in, day out as I focus on raising these kiddos, as I focus on chasing my long-term dream and building out my blog. My blog focused on my family. So it's exciting times at the Stevens household. That's for sure. Man, it is so nice out today. I've really enjoyed journaling on my walks. I'm glad this is the process I've decided to go with. And again, for anyone who's just anyways, for anyone who's just tuning in, learning about me, my name's Justin Stevens. I am from Meridian, Idaho, born and raised in Roby Creek, Idaho. It was amazing. I loved growing up in Roby Creek. We grew up in this valley. There was forest all around us, and we roamed in the woods and played with bows and arrows, and it was awesome. So I grew up in Roby Creek, Idaho. My parents owned a remodeling company, plumbing company, and electrical company. They ended up buying the Sandler sales training franchise just to teach their own employees how to sell. It's really funny. Apparently it was cheaper to buy the franchise and learn to be the trainer than it was to hire another trainer to fly out and do the training for my parents' company. So that's one of the reasons they ended up with the franchise. They've been doing Sandler 25 years, 26 years. They're David H. Sandler Award winners, which is the top award you can possibly get when it comes to Sandler training. My dad is a rock star when it comes to putting that all together. When it comes to training and role playing and just everything he does, it's cool. It's cool to watch. So in 1999 was when they bought it, and we lived in Roby Creek at the time. We had this truck with bucket seats in the back. It was a tiny white cab, what is it, dual cab truck or whatever, two-door. It was a small truck. And we would drive from Roby Creek to Boise, which is like 45 minutes, all 6 of us in our family in that little tiny truck. It's good times. And while we were doing it, we would listen to these Sandler CDs or Sandler tapes. And one day I asked my dad, I said, this was when I was in 8th grade, what do you do now? Because he was always in remodeling. And he said, I want to show you instead of tell you. And that's how I ended up in Sandler's sales mastery when I was 13 years old. So I went through sales training. I was learning all about how people interact, and it really brought me out of my shell. That summer changed my life, and I attribute that as probably the most important education I got on my journey through life, is that summer, because it changed how I interacted with people and the way what I was scared to do and what I wasn't scared to do. It was really impactful. So I went through sales training between 8th and 9th grade, and it was life-changing. So that's how I got my start in sales. I went to Timberline High School here in Boise, and then after high school I went to the University of Idaho up in Moscow, Idaho. At the University of Idaho was a blast. I graduated in 4 years with a degree in business marketing. And I went for business marketing because I felt like no matter what I do, I'll have to market myself. And that has been proven true time and time again throughout my life. So got a degree in business marketing. After college, I originally moved up to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And my girlfriend at the time, I wanted to live where she lived. One of my fraternity brothers, his parents owned a farm up there. And so they invited me to be a farmhand while I job hunted. That lasted 3 to 4 months. And my hat's off to all the farmers out there. Being a farmer is such an important role in our society, and I don't think we give them enough credit, because it was a boatload of work and it was a great learning experience, and I definitely learned I was built for a desk job. I was built to be in sales. So I did that for about 4 months right after college, and this was in 2009. So I graduated college in 2009, went to Coeur d'Alene that summer. And I don't know if anyone else remembers, but 2008 was a challenging year. So in 2008, the remodeling industry collapsed. With the financial collapse, remodeling is very much a disposable income driven purchase. So when the financial collapse happened, that tanked the remodeling industry. And it tanked the remodeling industry in such a way that my parents' remodeling companies were struggling, and then their Sandler, the sales training business, was mainly ran with remodeling companies. And so that business started to struggle. So it was in August of 2009 that I talked to my parents and ended up moving from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, down to Boise, Idaho. And that is when I started to work with them, come in and help them build the Sandler business. I started in admin, running the back end, running the remote trainings, putting all that together. And so that was the start of my whole journey, is even just figuring out what you want to do out of college affects everything. So I came down, started working with my parents, worked from admin and back-end stuff up to prospecting, to lead gen, to sales, and to sales, to coaching and training. I was doing it all. Customer service, lots of customer service, and it was a ton of fun. And so as we were building this all out, as we were figuring this all out, I've continually pushed to be part of something bigger. And that, working with my dad, we were always trying to figure out how do we do something that impacts more people. And I think that's why my dad loves training so much, is because he really gets to impact hundreds of people and does a great job doing it. That's why I'm glad I'm going back to trainings, because yesterday we were talking about behaviors, attitudes, and techniques, and one of the things I'm working on is getting better at what are the day-to-day behaviors that I'm going to do that are going to drive to success. And so that's the goal with everything I'm doing today, is I'm going to be putting together my schedule for next week. What are the behaviors I need to be doing to drive to success? And updating my list, sending out an email just saying, hey, this is next step. This is me moving forward. This is what it looks like. So it's fun. Life is such an adventure. Yeah, that's where I got my start, was at Sandler. I spent 9 years working with my parents. It was fantastic. I actually miss it a lot. It was I really enjoyed what I was doing. But one thing I've learned on my journey is I needed the experience of doing something on my own. At the end of the day, nothing teaches you like experience. So, life happens the way it's supposed to happen. At Sandler, I also ran our LMS, the Learning Management System. So the LMS is Sandler Online, this online digital portal where people can access the training whenever they need to, and it's got playbooks and stuff like that. Really cool system. And that, I spent a couple years at Sandler working almost exclusively with that, learning about administering courses and how they're all set up and all kinds of fun stuff. I mean, not really fun, but it is what it is. So, and that's the crazy thing about life. So today is March 15th, 2024. I was born September 13th, 1986. I am the only person in the world who has the context of my life. And it would be impossible for me to give someone else that context. Think about it. And for you, you are the only person in the world who has the context of your life up until this moment in time. You are the only person with that context. Your spouse, they'll probably have the closest context to your life, but even them, they don't live in your head. They aren't you. You are you. And I think that's the beautiful thing about us as humans, is we are all each an individual, yet we're all connected through time because we exist at the same time as each other. That's why I think time is the great equalizer. We all wake up with 24 hours until you don't. And that is life. Over and over and over again. So what you do in those 24 hours becomes the most important decision you make every day. Which I think is cool. Anyways, I've enjoyed sharing a little bit about my background. And if you guys would like, I'd like to invite you to share my journey. Follow along, like and comment. Ask questions. This is designed to be a community, a conversation that we're having together. Anyways, have a great day.